Good morning and welcome to the first installment of Wisdom for Your Week. This is Monday, April the 20th. I'll do this again on Wednesday and then again on Friday if the Lord is willing. I'm speaking today from Proverbs chapter 20. Whatever the day of the month it happens to be on the calendar, that's the chapter of Proverbs that I'll be speaking from for that day. And so I want to speak to just a minute from Proverbs chapter 20. Does it seem to you that we're living in a very argumentative culture? People seem to be looking for an excuse to fight or at least to argue. I think that social media has made that tendency even worse because we can argue anonymously from behind the secrecy of a keyboard. It brings to my mind something we heard back in 1992. Los Angeles was in the midst of several days of riots, and a man named Rodney King went on the news one evening and he said these now somewhat famous words. He said, "Can we all get along? Can we all get along?" Well, apparently, Mr. King, we cannot all get along, and there is strife everywhere, it seems. The writer of Proverbs encourages us to avoid strife or arguments. In chapter 20, in verse 3, it says, "It is a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel." It is to a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. There's a clear contrast here. One side positive and one side negative. One behavior is encouraged and one is discouraged. A man of honor will do whatever he can to avoid strife and being argumentative, having turmoil in his life. That means he probably holds his tongue when he'd really rather like to speak out. It means he swallows his pride. That means he doesn't insist on getting his way. He stays quiet even when he knows he's right and the other guy's wrong. That's what an honorable man does, and that's encouraged by the writer of Proverbs. That's the wise thing to do and the wise way to live. The negative side of this contrast is also very clear. He said, "Only a fool goes looking for a fight or an argument or a quarrel." Do you know someone who is quick to argue? Proverbs would say, don't be that guy. Remember, the goal of Proverbs is to help us live wisely and not foolishly. And so the wise man avoids strife. The foolish man goes looking for it, or at least doesn't try to avoid it. So I'll ask you this morning, do you want your relationships to be better? Do you want your marriage relationship to be better? Do you want your work situation to be better? Do you want your relationship with your neighbors to be better? Then stop being argumentative. Don't quarrel. Be wise and not foolish. That's wisdom for your week.